Hi, I'm Mike from Unorthodox Nutrition. We specialise in nutritional plans for weight class athletes. I've been coaching now for 14 years. Back in the day, there used to be Cage Warriors forums for social media and everything where you could go on and have discussions basically. And I was always hanging out in the nutritional one. I was a big kid, always was like a super active kid, like did loads of like mountain biking and BMXing and all that kind of stuff. But it was always, when I was younger, it was encouraged to, you know, finish a plate and, oh, it's great if I've got a good appetite. So I just would eat massive portions and it just led to me just a bit of an overweight kid. And I got myself in shape and then just started answering people's questions. After like doing that for a while, somebody came to me and said, will you do me a plan? And then it just kind of went from there, more and more people. And then just over the 14 years, working with more and more people, and it's just kind of gone up and up and up to where we are now. Everyone comes in, goes on the internet, starts searching around, and you just fall into traps of like somebody who enthusiastically sells a method to you and you think that's the be and all. And for a long time, I was like, no carbs, which was terribly wrong. And you go through like different variations of that and like different things, but it was more like trialing stuff and go, look, like this doesn't work. Beware of a coach that's only ever gotten themselves in shape, because they could have found it really easily. There could be, we all know those people who just pick up one weight and are just jacked instantly, but you need to be able to do it with like lots of different people. Pro athletes are probably the easiest people to work with because they don't do anything else apart from eat, sleep, train. It's people who not only does that, but is a firefighter as well and a mum, but trying to fit running a gym in, and like, it's like, how do you plan and prepare for those people? Rather than just like, everybody wants to work with pro athletes and it's great working with pros, like it's so much fun. They're generally quite basic versus like somebody who has a bit more of a challenge when it comes to it. My ideal new client is anybody. A lot of people think, oh well, I'm only like a hobbyist, and I see that in working with all these top athletes and stuff, I only play five-a-side football, or I only do, like I'm a white belt doing 2 or 3 sessions a week. That's perfect. Most of my clients are not the pros, it's the everyday guys, the hobbyists who want to get the most from their training. The biggest win that these guys have with me is that they can outsource that to me. They just pluck all that thinking out of the brain. They're like, what I've got to eat, how have I got to eat, and give it to me. And then I give it, and then they execute it. The perfect client for me is somebody who's going to work hard and is coachable, open the kind of methods that we're going to do. They're going to ask loads of questions about it. They want to learn why things are working the way that they do. And then they're going to work hard to implement it. Or if they can't, for whatever reason, communicate. And communication is so important. It's nutritional coaching. It's not me just giving you a plan and waving you off into the sunset. It's coaching and so much backwards and forwards. The clients that do the best communicate the most. Every week, everybody checks in every single week as a minimum. I've got clients who check in every single day, depending on what they need. It's so important because that allows us to build like a complete picture and give them exactly what they need. The difference that we can make to the average BJJ hobbyist is threefold. First is health. Health always has to be a foundation of everything. So many people, especially when we're younger and in our 20s and like our early 30s, we don't really care about our health till something goes wrong. We don't really know what our health is. So for me, it's firstly addressing that, making them feel better, making them sleep better, making them feel good all the time and energized. The second would be performance. Most people who come to me are massively under eating by a huge margin. They don't realize how high they can actually push their calories while still achieving the goals. So it's performance, and their performance and recovery takes on like a whole new life of its own. Like, rather than being wrecked after every session for a couple of days, they're always like re-energized to go into the next training session. And then the last that is, whether we want to admit it or not, is looking jacked. Obviously, perform well in jiu-jitsu is like the main goal, but everybody wants to look jacked. So it's being able to give them that as well, which always looks good, which you use in client photos and stuff of people looking jacked. The result that I'm most proud of, a guy called Ben Brunning, who was a strongman. He was Wales' strongest man, and he came to me and he was basically he was starting boxing and he was looking to get in a bit better shape and stuff like that. But the main win for me is when we looked at his blood pressure, it was nuts. It was so high, it was like, you need to sort this out or you will die. We managed to get all his health markers like back in a great range and stuff, and so far he's been undefeated in boxing. The process of when I onboard a new client starts off by doing a full evaluation of the client. So we send them 2 forms. One, which is like talking about their current nutrition, what kind of stuff they're working on, what kind of diets have they tried in the past, etc. What they're doing nutritionally and training wise, like being as detailed as possible. How many sessions, how much they're eating, do they know how much they're eating? And then the lifestyle of kind of like, what kind of constraints do they have? Do they have young children? Do they have a demanding job? Are they trying to be a pro at the same time as having a demanding job? Is it super physical, their job? Like all these things. So we can build a picture of how it looks specifically to them, because then we can start applying like the principles that we know work to their lifestyle. So every single plan is different for every single client. The best ways for people to get in touch is go to the website unorthodoxnutrition.co.uk, any social media, Unorthodox Nutrition. Ask me whatever you like and I'm more than happy to answer anything.